Welcome back to day 4 of the trading series. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a 1-minute time frame. I was using US30. I'll show you here. It does say YM. Bear with me. In the last video, you guys did hear that I was also working with futures. So I was managing multiple accounts here. I was just using the futures chart to be able to do my markups. But I also did work with US30 for my Forex account. So you can see in the description here that I kind of explained this a little bit, that I was with using US30 for what my submission was, but I did take the same trade on my Futures Challenge account that I had talked about in the previous video, also for a 1 hour or so. I did have a futures chart up, so I'm managing multiple accounts. I did use the 1-minute time frame only for this trade. I didn't use any higher time frame analysis. I potentially could have gotten to hold a little longer, but I didn't. So I was only using 1-minute time frame. There was a head and shoulder pattern with a breakout and a bearish smiley face. I did go in and I did stack 2 of my trades for this. So that's what you're seeing here, these 2 trades. These are considered 1R for me because this was off of a 50K account. I talked about this in one of the other previous videos that I did eventually sign up with a broker that I was demoing with, and I only wanted to do 50K with them. I typically do 100K, but because I was unsure about them, I wasn't really willing to lose like potentially 100K or have issues with 100K being tied up in a broker that I wasn't like 100% sure about yet. So I only do 50K for Strategy Wars, but you'll be able to follow this account along and see like how it grows. But yeah, this was finally a live account that I had started, and I ended up having 2 positive trades for the day. I did have 1 loss earlier in the day, and that is what it is. Sometimes you get breakouts before a head and shoulder pattern, and you just kind of get tripped up. But it is what it is. I have losses too, so I did have the 1 loss there for that day, and then the other 2 wins once the market gave me the pattern that I was able to figure out where it was really going. So what we have here on the 1-minute time frame is a pretty clear-cut like head and shoulder pattern. So the market does come up, it creates this like first shoulder, pops up, grabs some liquidity up here probably likely, creates a little head, and then makes the second shoulder, and then breaks back down below, and that's usually where you would want to ideally get in on that second shoulder, and that's usually the big sell-off and drop that you'll see. In this case, this is kind of like what you can see the market did. It actually went even further than this, which was like crazy. I think in total believe if I remember correctly, in total this move was like could have been a 15R or something crazy like that. And remember, I was like times 2ing it, stacking. So like that's like crazy for me to think that I could have had in pretend world a 30R, but I didn't. What I had was a 1R for each of them, and I'm totally okay with that. But yeah, this was a day that was kind of crazy. I remember everybody being like, "Oh man, should have held." But you never know what the market's going to give you, and you should just take what you know the market is giving you. But you can see here, all these purple lines were just like zones that were marked along the way, and like just watching them hit every one of my zones. It was definitely crazy, but nonetheless, that was this trade. The rationale behind it was pretty simple. This is pretty clear, basic head and shoulder pattern on 1 time frame, so you don't have to worry about multiple time frames all the time if you find that confusing. You can do something very basic. This is like very beginner friendly market structure pattern, and a head and shoulder is one of them, and you will find it on every time frame. In fact, on the higher time frames, you'll usually find them looking a little cleaner. On the 1-minute time frame, they can be a little janky looking, which is what you kind of see here. But they happen on every time frame, and once you can start spotting them, you can definitely use them to your advantage. So I did that. You can see that we had our head and shoulder, and what I waited for was a bearish breakout from it. So I had my bearish smiley face, which gave me my bias to say, hey, let me look for the sell. I was just waiting for a really clean breakout of this level and didn't really get in here. You could have gotten in here. I didn't, but you could have probably gotten in here because your stop loss would have kept you safe. Stop loss should be above where the head and shoulder pattern is. But I did wait for a little bit longer, a little more of a break. I had gotten a little bit around here because it was a little lower in price than what was forming here. I just kind of wasn't super sure about this. I'll kind of highlight it for you guys when I do the edit, but I'll show you like kind of the zone that I'm talking about. I wasn't so sure about that, so I really kind of wanted to see more pressure put down there, but yeah, I was okay with that. We never got an opposite smiley face to tell me anything else, so I was good with my bearish smiley saying momentum is shifting and the breakout that we had. And then, I just went along and targeted where I had gotten like a good risk to reward. So like I said, I was stacking and took 2 trades. And for me, that's why I did 1Rs instead of 1.5s like I typically do, or targeting this bottom level. And this was the start of an account, so I really kind of wanted to secure some profits quickly. I like to do that versus like being in drawdown or negative on an account. So I only went for 1R for each of them, which still gave me like 2R on the account, but it didn't hold for this level, although obviously in hindsight I could have held for a lot of these levels. But yeah, that was my logic there. I went for the higher probability trade in this case because I was starting off the account and I really wanted to have some sort of cushion and profit on there versus like being negative and having to dig yourself out of a hole, because that can really be hard mentally. So that was my logic for only kind of going for 1R for each of them. I just wanted a higher probability trade. So this is the bottom of the zone, the purple line that's marked that is to the left. Unfortunately, you can't see it. I apologize. Where I took my take profit was like the top. So this kind of area was like a whole little zone that was marked up. And I went with, like I said, the more probable area, which was like closer to a 1R. And that's why I took these trades. So that was those trades. That was my day 4. And that was the head and shoulder pattern that you will frequently see throughout the market. So if you see one, definitely mark it up a little bit and see if you can figure out where the proper entry would be, because you'll see them a lot and they can really give you some crazy rewards. Some of them really are huge. You'll see, like I said, this could have been, I think, a 15. It went even further than what you're seeing here in the screenshot. So definitely worth looking into and learning them. And that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in day 5's video.